Google, Nvidia, Amazon, Microsoft. The four nations never lived in harmony, and one day one will buy out all the other three. It's family day here in Ontario, so hit that subscribe button to join the Dodump fam. Oh god, that's not, Welcome back to the Dodump. So today, Xbox unveiled that it's xCloud. Cloud, my bird is getting so excited when I say his name. So xCloud is Microsoft's gaming service, similar to Google Stadia, Amazon Luna. Today they unveiled that you can access xCloud working in a browser, and they did this to run it on iOS and iPad devices. The Apple Store does not allow for cloud gaming services, so Amazon was able to run their service in a browser so that iOS users can use it. And now Microsoft finally cracked the same code, putting them back in the race. This recent story with Microsoft's xCloud made me want to talk about cloud gaming in general. If you don't know what cloud gaming is, basically someone else's computer or a server computer does all the work to run an app, and then they just send you back footage of the game. So you're streaming a game off of another computer. So even though cloud gaming is touted to be the resolution of the accessibility of gaming, everybody can be a gamer so long as you have a phone. It's the next level of mobile gaming. You do need to have a really good internet connection for this, and typically buying some sort of device, namely a controller that can connect to their servers. Google Stadia was in the news recently for pretty much giving up on the cloud gaming race. But even though they ended up shutting 2 studios that was focusing on just building Stadia games, losing Terraria on Stadia, and also losing Jade Raymond, who was the head of the Google Stadia department. But no, they're still in the race, saying that hey, we got more than 100 games that are coming out this year on Google Stadia. Nvidia also has a cloud gaming service, but I'm mainly gonna focus on Microsoft, Amazon, and Google, because these 3 companies own over 50% of the world's largest data centers across the globe, and they are constantly expanding. They are at an arms race against each other to win the cloud space. So with needing a really good internet connection and connecting to another computer to play, of course there's gonna be latency or input lag, but faster data connections are gonna be easier and more accessible as time goes on. These companies, man, they see things 10, 20 years in the future. So even though the tech isn't there and they're not winning over most gamers, this is going to be the future. Think about how long it took for us to finally get digital only consoles. Even though physical discs of games have been phasing out over like 8 years ago. So in the next 10, 15 years, I can totally see a cloud only system that uses AWS, Amazon's web server, or Google servers or Microsoft servers. It doesn't matter. They're all fighting for that space. The world is moving to the cloud, and cloud computing and cloud storage is at an all-time high and was seen to be an absolute necessity during this pandemic. Phil Spencer, the CEO of Xbox, when talking about gaming, said that he sees Microsoft's direct competitor being Google and Amazon, not Nintendo and Sony, because they're fighting for the cloud space. Cable TV is such a boomer concept. Now we just stream stuff, and this is where gaming is heading to. With an estimate of 65% of adults playing games, be it mobile or whatever, these 3 companies fighting for server space want that. Pretty much everything is moving to a service. Think about those sci-fi movies where all you need is a screen and they have a complex ass computer. That's where we're heading. All you need is a little screen with an internet connection, and boom, you got the computing power of an RTX 380. I think that Microsoft is the furthest in the race because Microsoft's backend of their xCloud streaming service uses Xbox One S technology, which they're upgrading to Xbox Series X. This is a big deal because it means that developers don't have to develop for Stadia or Amazon Luna specifically. If it already runs on an Xbox, which by the way already has the same architecture of a normal Windows computer, then it can run on their service. The other thing is that xCloud is included with the Xbox Ultimate Game Pass. So for only $15 a month, you're getting the games on the Xbox Game Pass. And in theory, it can just be streamed off of a cloud server. Because right now with the Game Pass, you have to download the game first. But that doesn't mean that Amazon and Google are going anywhere. With their aggressive expansion of their server centers and having lots and lots of money, I'm going to predict that we're going to see some crazy exclusives. Maybe even if they're just timed, like for a few months, it's only available on the Stadia or the Amazon Luna. But in the next 5 years, we are probably going to see some crazy high-end AAA exclusives for one platform. And that's when people will start considering these services. I want you to comment comment, what is the main way you game? I mostly play on my Xbox, Switch, and my PC. So with me having all these dedicated gaming hardware consoles, there's no reason for me to buy into this service, other than the Xbox one, since I might already have Game Pass. So the targeted audience here is probably like mobile gamers and casual gamers. The Netflix of gaming is the term that gets thrown around the absolute most. And that is a great analogy because it also showcases the dangers of cloud-based gaming. Everyone always points to Scott Pilgrim for this. If it's not on the service, you can't access it, which is pretty crazy because in the case of Google Stadia, you can opt to a $9.99 per month service to stream the games, or you can outright buy a game, but it's not on your computer. What happens if it's suddenly not supported or a publisher pulls out streaming rights? All these companies are trying to integrate these with the respective owned property. Google Stadia is trying to integrate stuff into YouTube. Oh, you see an ad and you want to stream a game, go for it. Amazon trying to link Luna into Twitch. You see a Twitch streamer streaming it. You want to try a game? Microsoft trying to link xCloud into Mixer. Into Xbox. It makes the most sense for the hardcore gaming audience to be a gateway into cloud gaming, since some of them might already own the Game Pass. The other reason why these three companies are aggressively expanding their server spaces, because by building these networks, it allows for more computationally heavy things like AI or deep learning algorithms. So if we ever see some crazy game that uses some deep learning, machine learning, AI, neural net, all the same terms that get thrown around for this, and it uses just their massive server cluster, now that could be interesting. I'm talking about a decade in the future. So in short, I think that Microsoft is the biggest gateway for gamers like me that actually use system hardwares like Switch, PS5, Xbox. But for the more casual crowd, it's probably going to be Amazon or Google that wins that space. Only time will tell. It's interesting to talk about, and I think that even the most hardcore gamers will have to subscribe into one of these cloud-based gaming services in 10 years time, because it'll be an unavoidable thing that you have to buy into to get the latest titles. I think we're well a ways away from that, but I also think that it's only like 2 console generations, and we're gonna see cloud-based gaming being the core of the console. Say, hey, buy this controller. And Nintendo will do something wild, like make a weird body morph suit that you put on to connect to the cloud. So that's it for today's Dodom. It's late. Y'all just got dumped on. Bye-bye.